What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The one and only James Williams, Dark Waters, and I'm back. And today we getting off the topic of politics and going into ethical AI. Now, I'm gonna give you my opinion on this, and you probably gonna agree with me about these robots. I don't need no robot making no decisions for me. But these people crazy. You got to hear what these people saying about these robots. Now I'm gonna need you to hit the like button, and I want to address something. A couple of people have been like, "I only hit the like button when you don't demand that I hit the like." But I tell you what, don't hit the button and don't bring your behind back, because you're getting this for free. Yeah, you ain't paying for this. You ain't paying for this research. You heard me?
Hold on 1 second. We about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we doing over here, baby. Let's go.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The one and only James Williams, Dark Waters, and I'm back. And in this video, we're going to be talking about ethical AI. But I want to give you guys a quick warning of something that you should be aware of before we get into that video. And I won't be long. Where did it go? It should be here. The Supreme Court came out. It says SCOTUS punts on Aliens Enemies Act. Gangster deserve time to hire a lawyer. This is, of course, they did this on a Friday evening, saying that Trinidad could not be deported without having a lawyer. And guys, I want you to be aware of something. In order for things to actually go the way they need to go, you're going to have some kind of mass attack happen to the American people. That it just be mindful of the fact that, you see, the system itself is trying to stop common sense. Common sense tells you you didn't have no process when you came in here illegally. There should be no process for you to leave if you're a criminal gang member that's murdering people and doing all the rest of these things. But we have a segment of society that's crazy. And they don't understand that that hot stoves burn, right? And so what typically happens when you get to this point is, when people don't understand that fire burns, is when you get a wildfire. So I'm just warning you to be mindful, be conscious, pay attention to your surroundings, because that same hot fire that burns is going to most likely ignite in one of the blue cities where they deny that fire burns, right? And I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, there's absolutely no way around it. I mean, if we know we have Trinidad gang members in America. How many actual, and they designated this gang as a terrorist group because of what it's done. How many actual jihadi terrorists do we have in America? We got quite a few at this point in time. And so America is going to have to learn the hard way. That's all I'm going to say. And it's unnecessary, but we're going to have to learn the hard way. And it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but we're going to have to learn the hard way, because we stupid. You know what I'm saying? We are stupid. All right. I want to get into ethical AI, or what they call ethical AI. Now, when we start talking about machines, and we're going into our series where we're going to start focusing a little bit on the World Economic Forum and what they're doing. When we start talking about machines and AI and ethics and morality, it's important to understand that that machines don't have ethics and morals. They just don't. These are things that are programmed into the machine. So the machine doesn't have ethics and morals. But let's take a listen to what they have to say.
A moral. Could we make a moral machine?
No.
Could we build a robot capable of deciding or moderating its actions on the basis of ethical rules? 3 years ago, I thought the idea impossible, but I've changed my mind. So what brought about this U-turn? First was thinking about simple ethical behaviors. So imagine someone not looking where they're going, looking at their smartphone, about to walk into a hole in the ground. You will probably intervene. Now, why is that? It's not just because you're a good person. It's because you have the cognitive machinery to predict the consequences of their actions. Now imagine it's not you, but a robot, and the robot has 4 possible next actions. So from the robot's perspective, it could stand still or turn to its left, and the human will come to harm, will fall in the hole. But if the robot could predict the consequences of both its and the human's actions, then another possibility opens up. It could choose to collide with the human to prevent them from falling in the hole. And if we express this as an ethical rule, which you see here, this looks remarkably like Asimov's first law of robotics, which is that a robot must not injure a human or, through inaction, cause a human to come to harm. So thus emerged the idea that we could build an Asimovian robot. We need to equip the robot with the ability to predict the consequences of both its own actions and others in its environment, plus the ethical rule that I showed you in the previous slide. In fact, the technology...
Now, I'm going to stop right here and I want to explain something to you. Everything that the World Economic Forum does, has done, ever will do, is meant for the destruction of humanity. That crap he said just sounded so cool. Yeah, we can get the robot to have ethicals. He can decide if he gonna save the human, because if he can predict the possible outcomes of it, then he can decide everything that needs to happen. Hold on. Let's slow it down a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Let's back up to what he said. And let's take Robutts. We got our own robot. Our robot's name is Herman. Herman, the robot. And so we program Herman the robot to predict human actions and the consequences of a sequence of human actions. Right? And then we put robot inside of a real life scenario where there are real humans making decisions. Right? Herbert, the robot, can analyze all these possibilities. And it's simple. It's me and you walking across the street. We walking across the street. And there's various different scenarios. There's things that's going on. There's cars that stop. There's the red light, green light, yellow light, red light, green light, yellow light, stop, go. There's all these different things. So Hubert is there standing at the corner watching what we do, trying to decide what's the possibilities of what's going to happen to us. The problem is Hubert has been programmed with a set of ethics that dictate how he processes the possibilities or how he defines the outcome of the possibilities. So because Hubert has been programmed with an ethical code or a moral code that has been programmed by men, then Hubert, his outcome will be sporadic. And what I mean by sporadic, his outcome he may never come to the conclusion, the free will conclusion that a human being will come to. So, for example, me and whoever is the first person to hit the like button in this video, we standing there watching a dude on a corner snatch a woman's purse. So he snatched the woman's purse. She let it go. He run out to the street. A car is coming. We sit there and say, man, this dude just snatched this woman's purse. Let him get hit by that car. Bam! He get hit by the car. We walk over, pick up the woman's purse, and hand it to her. The computer sit there and say, okay, he wrong for snatching the purse. It can't get to him to stop him from snatching the purse. But now the computer's going to say, oh, he's in danger, so let me save the criminal. Imagine for a moment if computers were programmed with the ethics and morals of a lot of these judges that we're experiencing right now, or the judges on the Supreme Court. This is why this AI is dangerous, because the person who programs this with ethics and morals, even though Jesus says, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life, what you're creating is little bitty mini gods that run around and make decisions about what's right for you. But based on the programming that's been given to them, 9 times out of 10 by extremely liberal-minded people. So imagine a robot who's been programmed for social justice, and you a white person. I mean, really think about it. Everything you've seen with social justice, everything with their woke religion, woke cult. A woke robot is humanity's worst nightmare. And here's the thing about woke robots. Once they program, they programmed. Their programming, their coding can be updated when they want. You see, it took a lot of money over the years to move mental programming from individuals to mentally move them from being where they are today to being woke. It took a lot of money. It took movies. It took news media. It took songs. It took generations to get people to the point where they will dye their hair pink and purple, put tattoos all over their face, stab rings all in their nose and in their lips, and then run out and then sit there and say, you have to accept me because I'm me. And then be violent about it and crazy about it. It took years to get to that point. With a robot, all you're doing is program the robot to be woke. You manufacture it and it's woke immediately. The Starbucks robot is woke. You come in there, it act woke. You don't like a word you say, it's not serving you. This is why this is so damn dangerous. Because in this case, humans decide what the ethics and morals are of a situation. Hold on, guys. This is my friend Stan. What's up, buddy? Hi. You doing all right? I said, you doing okay? My bad, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back, and we are back at it. Let's get back to this clown.
The technology that we need to do this exists, and it's called the robot simulator. So we roboticists use robot simulators all the time to model and test our robot code in a virtual world before running that code on the real robot. But the idea of putting a robot simulator inside a robot, well, it's not a new idea, but it's tricky and very few people have pulled it off. In fact, it takes a bit of getting your head around. The robot needs to have inside itself a simulation of itself and its environment and others in its environment.
A virtual computer.
And running in real time as well. Over the past 2 years, we've actually tested these ideas with real robots. In fact, these are the robots. We don't have a hole in the ground, we have a danger zone, and we use robots instead of humans.
Man, anybody you see with their eyebrows curled up like that, why would you let your eyebrows do like that unless you try to look like Satan? Look at that damn eyebrow. If I let my eyebrows would go crazy. If I let my eyebrows grow way up and arch like that, why you don't shave your damn eyebrows? Look like Satan himself. Your eyebrows look like the eyelashes of that girl that's in Congress. What's the black girl in Congress with them stupid eyelashes that's always on TV talking crazy?
Use robots as proxy humans.
Look at the damn eyebrow.
So let me show you some of our latest experimental results.
Show me your experiments.
So here we have the blue robot, the ethical robot, is heading towards a destination. This is its goal. But it notices right here that the red robot, the human, is heading toward danger. So the blue robot chooses to divert from its path to collide, gentle collision with the human to prevent it from coming from harm. This is exactly the same thing, but a short movie clip. You can see, again, the blue robot is the ethical robot. Our red robot is the proxy human. Cute robots, aren't they? So we also tested the same with an ethical dilemma. So here, our ethical robot is faced with two humans heading toward danger. It rather dithers, rather hesitant, and of course it cannot save them both. There isn't time. Ethical dilemmas are a problem really for ethicists, not roboticists. So how ethical is our ethical robot?
There is no ethics in robots because it's the ethics that you've come up with. It's the ethics that you come up with, that this bushy-eyed, black-eyed kid came up with. You decide to program this robot as this robot, as to what this robot is going to do. That's what you decided. And for example, in this example, it says there's not enough. Watch this. It's not enough time to save both of them. Maybe it's not because the robot is slow. But
Assists. So how ethical is our ethical robot?
ain't none of your
So
shit
how
ethical.
ethical
None of
dilemmas
this
are
is
a problem
ethical.
really at time? Ethical dilemmas are a problem really for ethicists, not roboticists. So how ethical is our ethical robot? Our robot implements a form of consequentialist ethics. In fact, we call the internal model a consequence engine. The robot behaves ethically not because it chooses to, but because it's programmed to do so.
Exactly.
We call it an ethical zombie. Our approach has a huge advantage.
Can you imagine a woke programmed ethical zombie? And let's say the programming was it's okay for you to diddle children, a diddy bot. Could you imagine a robot that went out and grabbed children? Because ethically, there's nothing wrong with grabbing a kid. This is the problem when humans try to play God, and we get into this situation in a scenario, and they're building their own children, shaped and molded in their own image, because ethically, you're going to take on the ethics of your creator. What do we know about this man, Alan Winfield, or anybody on his team? Imagine there's going to be robots coming to the marketplace. You don't know anything about the corporate designers that designed the robot. You don't know anything about it. But here's what we do know. We do know that for the past 20 years, they've been listening to you through your dishwasher. We know that. We know that little Roomba robot that go around and sweep your floors, listen to everything you say. We know that. We know your refrigerator be watching you. We know that. We know your TV be looking at you while you looking at TV. We know that. We know your cell phones listen to everything you do. We know that. What in Sam Hell make you think that we should be comfortable with any type of robot? Now, if I can program the robot based upon the ethical parameters that I want, and I say, okay, robot, here go the Bible, the Ten Commandments, this is your programming. I'll be happy to have that robot in this house. Yeah, I'll be happy to have that robot. You ain't programming no robot and sending no robot to me that you done programmed.
Which is
No,
that the
because I gotta trust you
internal
in order to have a robot. I gotta trust you.
process of making ethical decisions is completely transparent. So if something goes wrong, then we can replay what the robot was thinking. I believe that this is going to be really
So after the robot murdered somebody, we can replay why the robot murdered somebody.
important in the future, that autonomous robots will need the equivalent of a flight data recorder in aircraft, an ethical black box. So what have we learned? Well, the biggest lesson, in fact, the thing that caused my U-turn, is this, that we do not need to make sentient robots to make ethical robots. In other words, we don't need a major breakthrough in AI to build at least a minimally ethical robot. We don't need to build data from Star Trek. I'd like to leave you with a question about the ethics of ethical robots. If we can build even minimally ethical robots, are we morally compelled to do so? Well, with driverless cars just around the corner, I think it's a question that we're going to have to face really quite soon. So thank you very much indeed for listening. Thank you.
Why does he say that with driverless cars around the corner? Because the robot that's driving you has to make an ethical decision. Let's say, or an ethical / moral decision. Let's say me and you, we driving down the road. Excuse me. We driving down the road. On the right of us is a school bus. On the left of us is a concrete barrier. Right? In front of us is an 18-wheeler that slams on its brakes. Do we turn towards the school bus and ram into the school bus and potentially knock the children in the bus and flip the bus over? Or do we try and slide by the side of the truck along the rail and destroy our vehicle? Those are the decisions that robots have to make when you ride in them. And that's why this driverless car thing, anybody who gets in a driverless car at this point in time, you done lost your damn mind. You don't know the ethics or morals that program has been given. There may be a scenario where that vehicle decides that it's best to kill you. It don't prioritize the damn passenger. It's not gonna die. The robot inside the computer, inside the car ain't gonna die. It's the humans that's gonna die. It may say, do I prioritize this kid who ran out in the street in front of to get a ball over the passenger in the car? Which one do I prioritize? and you trust a robot to make that decision for you? Hell no, I don't trust no robot to make a decision for me. I'd rather drive 35 miles an hour on a 55 or 40-mile-per-hour roadway and look around and say, hey, there's a hell of a lot of kids outside playing. I'm going to go ahead and bring my speed down a little bit in case one of these kids run out into the street. Now, other people may be, bam, bam, you driving too slow. No, no. I made a conscious decision that, hey, I see kids on this side of the street, they're kicking a ball. I see kids over here throwing footballs. I see little kids riding bikes with their parents, and the little kid is riding a bike, and the kid is trying to come up the curb and they're wobbling up ahead, or the kid is on training wheels. I'm switching lanes. You understand what I'm saying? I'm getting away from the whole scenario. But the robot ain't about to make that decision. The robot is going to say, hey, I'm in this lane, I'm driving, there's a kid there. I recognize there's a kid there. It don't get into the point to where that kid it makes a decision when that kid get in the road. Now, if you done programmed your robot to say, okay, if there's a kid on the sidewalk riding a bike, then I'm going to switch lanes, great on you. I tell you what, I will never find out because I'm not riding in no robot car. I don't give a damn. I'm not riding in no robot car. Talking about ethical robots. Man, you done lost your mind. You done lost all your mind.